Hey everyone, how's it going? Skull Mountain Fanboy here. Before I start this video, I just wanted to mention the Q&A video I will be uploading soon. This is the last video that you can ask questions on. So if you have a question that you want to ask, reply to my comment in the comment section for questions. Anyways, let's get to the video. Today I'll be reviewing Dorney Park, which is an amusement park in Allentown, Pennsylvania. This park is owned by Cedar Fair, so if you have been to a park like Cedar Point, Kings Dominion, or really any park in the Cedar Fair chain, you will see some similarities in the looks of the park and the atmosphere. I will talk about that a little bit later, but for now, let's just start out with the pros of this park. First off, we have the rides here. Now, hear me out. This park doesn't have a lot of coasters. They only have 7, and only 5 of those are actually thrill coasters, and only 4 of those are even modern. So yes, this park definitely doesn't have the most in terms of thrill coasters, but I really like the 5 that they do have. Hydra and Talon are 2 quality B&Ms with little surprises in the layout that I actually really enjoyed. Possess, their Intimate Impulse, is an awesome launch, and even though they no longer turn on the holding brake, I really like the vertical spike more than Wicked Twister's twist at Cedar Point. Steel Force was surprisingly a great hyper, and honestly, I thought it had great airtime. Thunderhawk, although old and kinda pointless, I thought it was pretty smooth and had some okay floater moments. Also, they have a great flat ride, which is Demon Drop. This ride is crazy sketchy, but I love it for that. My point is, I liked all the rides here. I mean, at least the thrill coasters in Demon Drop. Another thing is the addition of a free water park. This is great for 2 reasons. For starters, the water park is awesome. This is probably the biggest and best water park I have personally been to, and it is included with a $39 admission. That's pretty great considering that a lot of parks charge extra for just mediocre water parks. But the other reason why this is great is that the GP flocked to the water park on summer days. I went on a hot 90-degree day. The real feel was 97 degrees, so obviously everyone went to the water park. So believe it or not, even though the parking lot was full, rides were universally walk-ons. I rode everything at least twice, and I was only there for about 5 hours. The last great thing about this park was the general atmosphere in the park. I loved being at the park even if I ran out of things to do due to the lack of rides. It felt really friendly and it looked really nice. You look at somewhere like a Six Flags park, like Great Adventure for example, and the paths are black asphalt, there's hardly any landscaping, and it just seems like they really don't care. At Dorney, it really feels like they do care, and I didn't really see any areas that looked bad. Also, there were so many flowers at this park that I could smell them from hundreds of feet away. And just in general, the atmosphere was probably my favorite aspect of this park. Now, not every park can be perfect, so let's move on to the cons of this park. First off, we have a lack of rides. Now, earlier I did say that I liked the rides here, and that wasn't a lie, but they still didn't have enough to do. I got bored of everything here after a little while, just because I can only ride the same rides over and over. And it isn't like these are world-class rides either. Like, yes, they were enjoyable, but they weren't on the same level as some other rides. That's why after 5 hours in this park, I just went to the water park. I would love to spend more time here, but they just didn't have enough coasters to do so. Another issue here were the park guests. This is probably the worst crowd I have personally seen at an amusement park. For example, people were shouting on rides, which isn't that bad, but I didn't see it at somewhere like Cedar Point really at all. I think the main issue here was actually an issue with loading trains. More than 2 or 4 people will walk out of each gate. Like, for example, Steel Force is a 2-seat per row ride, but 4 people walked out of 1 gate. At that time, the person in the front row was putting her loose articles away, so they just went and stole her seat. And this actually happened a lot here, which confused me, because I have never seen this before anywhere except here. And this happened years ago, too. Like, it isn't only this visit. It wasn't only my recent visit. Like, it's happened before, and it seems to happen a lot. Just in general, the people here weren't very educated in terms of how to act in amusement parks. It was really weird. The last thing is kind of small, but it actually mattered the most for me. There wasn't a lot of shade in the park. There was one pathway that had a few trees planted around it, but in general, there wasn't a lot of shade. Since it was 90 degrees on my most recent visit, I was dying, and even after riding the log flume, I still wasn't cooled off. And this doesn't matter that much, but it was still worth mentioning because, I mean, on hot days in the summer, you need to have shade at your park. So, overall, Dorney is a great little park. Yes, there aren't nearly enough rides, and the guests here are sometimes annoying, but for what it is, it's a great park. I wouldn't necessarily make a whole road trip to go to this park, but if you live close or are nearby at any time, I highly recommend going here. If I had to rate this park, I would give it a 7. For what it is great, but I definitely have been to better, just bigger parks. So thanks for watching this park review, guys. Again, don't forget to leave a question for my Q&A in the comments, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye.